Hello, internet friends. It is OOTP After Talk, and this week I didn't mute my stupid thing. Look at that. My alt. I'm trying to get my drops. It is OOTP After Talk, and this week I am joined by TeeClev, one of our newest affiliates. TeeClev, welcome to OOTP After Talk.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
So, I have, from what I've watched of your stream, you are like 99.9% a base game player.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much. You could even say 100 if you wanted to.
There you go. And so how did you find OOTP?
Honestly, it started, it's been at least, I think, 5 years now with a random sale on Steam. Scrolling, was always obsessed with sports management games. I gravitated from like the console only life at one point growing up to PC, and then that opens obviously a brand new world of gaming when you're on PC. And then the sports management games are plenty there, and yeah, fell in love with OOTP right away and been hooked ever since.
And you've always been a baseball fan then?
Yeah.
And who's your team?
Braves fan.
Braves. There we go. All right. Well, I hate you for 1993. So, so you find OOTP, and do you when you first start playing, are you just starting up the current Braves season? Are you playing historical seasons? How do you start playing the game?
Yeah, definitely that. Definitely start the Braves right away. It was the easiest way to learn, right? Like I had a lot of sentimental attachments to players in real life already. So going into that, knowing a lot and knowing the genuine guideline for like prospects that may be near or not. And, it helped get my footing way quicker. Then from there, I became being obsessed with trying rebuild upon rebuild, taking every poor situation and making it a good one and trying to sustain that somehow. So
do you play other teams beside the Braves?
Yeah. Actually, the main Twitch save right now is the Nationals, and then on YouTube, that one is the Angels. So both two, semi-struggling teams in recent years. So
yeah, huh? So that to me is an interesting part of this, because you kind of cut your teeth on doing YouTube videos, and then you're I don't want to say new, but you're relatively new to Twitch streaming. Is that?
Yeah, the OOTP side of Twitch streaming, yes. I have like very casually streamed in the past with, I think the other game I really took serious was Football Manager in the past, and had like an okay footing there. But just more of again, wasn't taking it super serious, so didn't feel obligated to continue to uphold any sort of schedule or anything. So, anything like that. And then with OOTP, I've literally probably taught 4+ of my in real life friends the game. And so then they've dived into like online leagues and things of that nature and went full-fledged with they literally today in a call with two of them, like giving advice, on a new switching over to 27 from 26 with the online league and all that. So then I was like, you know what? Like, I love teaching people stuff that I'm also passionate about, that I also love. So then I said, I'm diving in. I said, I want to see what happens when I try really hard and see what happens. And yeah, that's how I got where I'm at. Went full-blown YouTube first because that naturally helped with a bunch of natural growth from YouTube, just people coming over to check out the live parts. And then, so then I've just taken the streaming side of it more serious after that.
What are, how do you approach the material differently? I hate the word content personally. But how do you approach do you live stream on YouTube, or are you doing a recorded and edited videos? Sort of, how do you approach the two mediums differently?
Yeah, so for streaming, it's just that. So that is one reason why I kept the save separate. I guess I'll talk more on what might be a plan in the future next year to make things a little bit easier, because I think it would off a little bit more than I can chew. But no, yeah. So I have just recently, I'd say within the past month and a half, decided to multi-stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So when I go live on Twitch, I'm also live there, or vice versa. But it's the streams are separate. They're their own thing. I think the main reason I want to do that is for spoiler reasons for the save. Like, I would hate for someone to decide, oh, shoot, I can't watch the live stream because I'm not caught up on the videos or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, so the saves are two separate things. the video side, obviously, a lot of my videos there, specifically the ones that usually take off naturally, are more educational, more guide based, kind of like tips or anything you learn just by naturally playing the game for years and years. But yeah, and then there's the angel save there, like just a basic playthrough of how I'd play.
And your educational and your sort of how-to videos, those are kind of recorded and edited and
Yeah, absolutely.
Cleaned up some because you've got some Chiron and stuff like that. How long does it take? Like I think I watched one of them that was about 15 minutes. I think it was the gosh, I don't remember which one. But so
Okay.
how long? Like making a 15-minute video, like how long is that editing process?
Well, for quite the experience editor, probably they would laugh, but I have taught myself everything along the way. Like I'm simultaneously watching a tutorial on one screen on how to do something I'm trying to achieve while trying to put said thing into motion. And I've become like, I don't know, I don't want to really like half do anything. I want to try and
nobody watches this, you can swear.
Okay. But no, yeah, like I don't want to not give my 100% into it off the rip. I'd say like a 15-minute video. I've gotten a lot better after I figured out you can actually save templates of things. But I want to say at minimum, I'd probably would take me like an hour and a half. Now that's for 15 minutes. Now when we're talking like
your hour-long video.
Like I have like an hour and a half long beginner's guide video that I poured my heart into. That probably took me like 4 hours, 5 hours. It took me forever.
And when a new version comes out, you have to do a new one of those.
Yeah, in theory. See, I can't lie. That
or do you module it, kind of?
Yeah, like that one. I guess one good thing about that is the game does change, obviously, year to year, but a lot of it is still pretty much the same as far as getting started, if that makes sense, I guess. So it could be worthwhile to do a new one, I guess, if you wanted to capitalize on some things from like a creator standpoint, naturally. But some things I think will probably carry over year to year. And I guess that is something, I can't lie, that's been in my mind since the day I've made a lot of the videos of like, do I need to do that again next year, or is this going to suffice, or will I like, there's that lingering thought of like, will something fall off if I don't do it again? You know what I mean?
That's like, an interesting, because I mean, the game is sort of, mechanically, it's very similar year to year, but, and you notice this more on the perfect team side of things.
Yeah.
But the engine changes, and like it, all of a sudden avoid K matters, or when it didn't matter last year, and that sort of thing. And so that push and pull, I mean, that's what keeps it interesting, so that you're not just I can build Uber team every time. But it's also, it's if you're somebody who wants to like create that educational video, it's tough. You can't make here's the shape of a player that is perfect for every version.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess like one thing that did cross my mind is because, again, going full like head down into YouTube, I'm still very much, I feel like a rookie at that. I think I've done, solid, but there is a lot of things. I'll watch back my own videos 50 times and 2 times speed and critique the crap out of myself. And I'm like, dude, I could have done so much better here or there. And maybe, in the future, that's probably what I'd focus on if I decide to go the route of remaking some topics again and trying to, clean up the edges and things like that on stuff. So
what's the hardest part of making those pre-recorded videos? Because, live streams to me are just sort of like, hey, I'm just shooting the breeze, boom, boom, boom. The recorded stuff, though, is just a level of complexity higher, and you have to have a script, you have to like have a sense of timing, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So for me, my script, I have my notes app on my phone is full of videos I've already done, and then I'll be driving down the road sometimes, and obviously, don't text and drive and stuff.
Kids,
but if
don't use your phone
if I'm at a red light and I don't want to forget something, I might, type it down real fast. I'll remember a topic. I'm like, oh, that's got to be in there. Like I've become obsessed with it to an extent, probably to a fault sometimes where I critique myself too much on it. But yeah, like a lot goes into it. Like you said, the scripting part. Some stuff flows off the tongue. And then there's some days where I cannot say the word right 10 times in a row, and I've got to retry that snippet over and over and try to re-record that part over and over. Sometimes stuff, again, it just flows off the tongue. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It depends as well, I guess, how depth you're going in some of the side footage as well that you're trying to show along the way. I guess it mainly depends on the topic and how straightforward or not it can be.
Well, now that's an interesting question. And by the way, here is TeeClev's YouTube page. You can see the various kind of videos that are going on there. You apparently only use one picture of yourself. That's
on the live stream, I think so. Yeah, like there's a bunch of different ones, obviously, for the thumbnails.
When you're creating, you want to find a in-game footage or something that supports your whatever you're saying. Like that seems to me like that would be maddening, just waiting for somebody to hit a triple or something.
Yeah, again, I guess it depends on the topic. So far, a lot of my stuff, though, unless it's obviously the Angels playthrough, in advance, it kind of revolves almost around one screen. Like you'll see there, like the salary arbitration, lineups, ratings, stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of it, I think where I could get better is honestly screenshot based. Take tons of screenshots in advance and then just pepper those into the videos where I want, continue yapping over it. But yeah.
I mean, you've got, what is this? This is like, this is 30 videos.
Yeah. There's a good chunk there. You can see I dabbled before years ago.
Here's the
down
Oaks.
in like the 26 one. That was the Oaks one. That's before the channel was even really known. But yeah, obviously things exploded with 27, thankfully, when I really started tryharding. Something else that takes a lot of time that I've totally forgot about at this point, but I'm a lot more passionate about, funny enough, is the thumbnail designs. I take so much time on those, but I genuinely enjoy it. I could do it all day. I probably made all of the guide ones. I made every single one of those before OOTP 27 was even out. I kind of had everything like all pre-planned before the game even dropped and stuff. So,
and are you are these like, these are so ballpark images? Or did you just like look for random like free what is it, open source or whatever they call it?
Yeah, pretty much
ballpark images. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
I think actually, wait a minute. I think, is this the same one as?
There is I think a Yankees one that I don't think I've used that one. Yeah, but yeah, you could do that. There's just tons of different ways, and a lot of things it's as simple as just like adding a blur to it and stuff. But yeah, like add a blur to the background, and then as far as getting different assets and stuff, there's a lot of effort that goes into it. Cutting out pictures, yeah, there's so much.
And I mean, do you have a, you're saying like, oh, an idea just came to me, I'm gonna jot that down. Do you have sort of a rollout schedule in your head of like, okay, there's a new version, here are 5 videos I want to have ready to go, or something like that?
Yeah, I would say yes, ultimately. As far as like, I guess pinpointing exactly what those would be is a tough part. And I mean, I guess the truth is seeing what performs well and what doesn't. 327 really is where a lot of that goes to. Because the YouTube algorithm is very, very it's very fickle, I guess. Like it will either eat you alive or bless you, I guess. I don't know. But it's very, very picky about things. And there's so much experimenting that goes on.
What is, putting aside the pre-recorded versus live stream, as that's obviously the major difference. What are some of the ways that you find you're approaching your work in Twitch differently than your work in YouTube?
Oh man, Twitch, I can throw my hat on right after dinner, 5 minutes after, sit down, hit go live, and have the time of my life and just yap, right? YouTube, now, I guess the thing with the playthroughs is I don't put my face on those like on the screen while I'm playing. So those are a bit more relaxed. I could be chilling in my chair like this for all people know, But the ones with the guides where I do like to get on screen and, really talk about things and focus in on things and whatnot. There's a lot that goes into that. Like I'm a big overthinker. I'm very like I don't know. I want things to be just right, or I'll overthink the crap out of it after the fact. There's been times where I wanted to delete a video because I forgot one thing, and I'm like, I just can't do that. I'll regret it.
Yeah.
But
don't let perfect be the enemy of good or done.
Yeah.
More importantly.
Yeah, true.
I think I'm an underthinker.
Maybe we can share.
Why did my wife laugh at that? Hold on. Yeah, I agree that one of the benefits I think of Twitch is that it's sort of just grip it and rip it.
Yeah.
Just turn it on and then let's see where we're gonna go. It may shock people watching to learn. I don't do a lot of prep, but it is it's still there's some weird mechanics of it, like you've got to post the go live message, you've got to there's like you got to post in Discord, you got to update all of your channel information and stuff. There are weird things like that take more time than you think.
I've went like plenty of times with forgetting to update my title, and I was like, oh man.
yeah it's all of a sudden your last time. Do you play other games besides OOTP on your stream?
Yeah, well, on stream, no. But yeah, off stream, yeah. But yeah, on stream, no. That is something I may adventure in. Towards the, how do you say it? Maybe towards the end of the life cycle of 27. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like during that transition period to the next game. But yeah, for now, probably just keep it, strictly OOTP based. Just because, I mean, as you know, I guess the creation space, if you're, I don't know, sometimes certain things, I guess, depending how serious some people want to take it, can be like a momentum killer in a way. And yeah.
I will say though, I really have enjoyed, I do a Saturday night different game. I call it Straturday night. And I've really enjoyed having the same kind of Twitch back and forth with a lot fewer viewers. Drops make a big difference, but it's fun to have that same experience with other games, and to also, I mean, just playing one game all the time gets old. Even though
you're right, burnout
OOTP
happens.
is a desert island game.
Yeah.
We streamers play a lot of OOTP, and every once in a while, it's nice to exercise a different video game muscle.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. Which I am still quite the gamer off stream as well. So I guess I have that fallback, so I don't get burnout as much. But the burnout does hit. I would be lying if I said it didn't, especially with YouTube as well, right? And I guess what I was talking about earlier is something I thought about next year, which would probably be more editing work, but one save amongst the stream and the YouTube, and I'm going to edit the VODs probably to cut out all the yapping in between that's irrelevant, chop it up to what's relevant, and just make that, the go ahead, full save thing, because it's a lot of work balancing two saves, especially with the effort that has to go into the YouTube one, which I think I overestimated a little bit, but still.
I mean, the other weird part of that is when you're playing two saves, like, look, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I have, a home game and then my stream game, and I mix them up all the time.
Yes.
I'm
literally earlier on the national save, I saw a reliever. I was like, I can't remember who it was. Might have been Robert Urena or someone, but that's an Angels player. And I was like, oh, he's here now. And I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah. I thought I was like, oh, well, duh. Yeah, he's here because that's not the same. But yeah.
And that's, that's the trick of having so many different games, is you have to you're like, oh, wait a minute. Which game am I playing? Which save am I playing? Interestingly, you basically don't play Perfect Team at all. You've opened a couple packs, you said, just for, kicks and grins, but you're not, is it, this is not a gotcha question or something. Is it just not something that interests you, or is it a part of the game that you're, like, I actually for a little while was afraid that if I went into it, I'd just like dive into it and disappear.
Right. Yeah. No, okay, so something funny I did forget to mention earlier, we were talking obviously before the show, I did a perfect draft, but this was all streaming stuff, and I was like, "I wanna see what this is about." I won my first perfect draft, it wasn't a lot of teams, but I can't remember how many it was, and I was like, "Alright, I'm retiring there," but no, and I showed the stream, and I was like, "Look, first one, by the way," but no, I retired there, I
You're
literally
1-0.
yeah, yeah. But, I tried a few more since then, obviously, it didn't go the same way. But, yeah, no, I guess ultimately to answer your question, it's not necessarily that I guess it doesn't interest me because I can't lie, I don't know anyone who probably wouldn't love ripping packs even if you never played the game itself. It's just kinda fun, right? Whether
Yeah.
it be packs in real life still, that's just as fun. But,
Until you
um
get to duplicate number 30.
true, true. But, yeah, so I have experience, I guess, in other games that have obviously the similar mechanic. Um,
Your
sports
Pokemon deck is
sports games.
unbeatable.
Well, not that necessarily, but I mean, I do like Pokemon, but I never got fully stuck into it, although that would probably be pretty dangerous for, the wallet if I were to. But, but yeah, no, like, obviously, like MLB The Show, like Diamond Dynasty and stuff. I got my fix on that a lot back in the day, and then those other similar card modes, on other sports games back in the day. So coming and I also always enjoyed the franchise game on them, but OOTP's like base game, the franchise, like,
Yeah.
dynasty management part is untouchable as far as baseball games goes.
Yeah, the
So
show,
then,
like the
yeah,
show as a sim game is a good arcade baseball
yeah,
game, but
exactly.
the sim mode is not that great.
So on that, I did enjoy like the Diamond Dynasty side of it, which was card based. So when I came to this game, I was like, oh, this is my baby for baseball sim management. So, and that's just where I've stuck since then, pretty much.
So, have you done any fictional stuff in OOTP, or do you always stick with kind of uh players and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so every new save startup has been modern day. Other than like I have been in online leagues. Now, obviously, there's those that run for years and years. If we want to count that as fictional, there's some I'll join that'll be like in year 2040. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
At that point, it's no longer about anybody
Right.
in real life and stuff. That's as close to as fictional as it's probably gotten. But no, I've never dabbled in as far as starting up like my own offline save into fictional. It is something that's interested me, especially the random debut mode. Talking to people in chat about that a lot, they say that's a blast.
It's
It's
really
something I've
fun,
thought
yeah.
about. So, but yeah, I've never dabbled in it. Yeah.
There's a I've talked about it before, but like my brother and I, this we started this in like OOTP 15.
Mhm.
We created a fictional world in 1900 with the normal teams, and we would add teams as regular, but all the players were fictional. And we just did a player draft in 1900, and I was the Giants and he was the Cubs. And the really fun part of that was by year 10, this league had sort of created a whole history and story of its own,
Yeah.
and like I drafted I drafted this pitcher who was really good, and then I noticed he was from Utah. So all of a sudden Andrew Orson was the Storm and Mormon, and that like
I love it.
and then all of a sudden when he retired, Orson was the best. He was the best pitcher in baseball for like another 100 years. Like he just
Mhm.
had the record. He was Cy Young basically.
That's
and
awesome.
and that kind of emergent storytelling and emergent narrative is, I think, something that OTP has that is, I think, pretty unique.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I can't lie, that is something that definitely interests me, is whenever some random fictional dude becomes, like, the GOAT, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't lie, that's something I'm chasing a high on right now in the national save, is because we've got, like, this crazy player, and I'm just dying for him to become, like, the best ever, Like, I would love nothing more. I like monitoring that, and I think that would be cool from a purely fictional standpoint too, especially because the idea of building brand new history with completely random people, it does sound super fun to me. Like that is something that's interested me.
And it also because I'm a historical guy. I like to play like old seasons, especially old Giant seasons where I know stories about the players and blah blah
Mm,
blah. But you play an old season, and sometimes you're trading for the name, not the rating,
yeah,
because um Tony Gwynn just is not a good player in the OOTP engine.
I
which,
could see
you
that.
know, is shocking. And I'm always like, I
Yeah.
want to trade for Tony Gwynn. And then I get him and I'm like, why is Tony Gwynn
Yeah.
striking out? You
Why is
know,
Tony
it's
Gwynn, not Tony Gwynn?
yeah, you know, and that's actually the one of the hardest parts of the historical, and I think actually even modern day, is turning off the name that you know. Don't like presuppose anything
Mhm. Yes.
because you know OOTP gonna OOTP.
Yeah, yeah, that it's really hard too, I guess, like you said, you know, playing with your maybe an older Giants team or something, having that sentimental attachment really gets me sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
before you know it, I mean, you probably know playing base game as much as you have as well. It could be a random obscure 45 overall player you get attached to, and he's like, you refuse to let him go. And
yeah,
yeah,
he's on the
I'm definitely
roster.
that way. Yeah.
You know, you're keeping Spencer Strider 2 years after his expiration date. You know, his arm is barely dangling on, but you're like, I gotta have him. I gotta
Yeah.
keep him on there. It's true. It's really a trick. Um, Remind me, Amber, sometime when you're watching my stream, and I can walk you through it. It's very simple. It's very easy to do, and it's like I said, it's a lot of fun, and it's surprisingly easy to sim like 10 years. You know, like
Yeah.
you can sim 10 years of a thing in like 20, 30 minutes, give or take your computer. You know,
True.
don't do it on a laptop, you know. But and that's, you know, so you can kind of seed the whole thing. You know, you can be like, we'll do the initial draft, then we'll sim 10 years just to kind of mix things up even more. It's a really fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So you're mainly playing base game, and you're playing a lot of the Braves, but then you're sort of branching out and looking for other stuff. How are you just looking for the failing teams? Like, are you going for the turnarounds? Is that?
Yeah, pretty much. This year, like, obviously, I know how I mentioned my channel didn't really take off on YouTube until I went like head down in 27. In 26, I did have an expansion team playthrough with the Raleigh Oaks, which was very niche viewership there because it was very random, wasn't at the start of the game or anything. It was like if they watched, they probably enjoyed it. You know what I mean? And they were
Right.
there. So I did a poll mainly for those people because I knew if they were interested, they would see it. And I had chose like the White Sox, Angels, Nationals. There's one more team, Rockies. So pretty much those teams that cannot get over the hump. They've been trying but can't. And yeah, Angels came out on top in that. So yeah, ultimately that's the teams I have seeked out for the most part. Because I like the slow burn. I'm not a big fan of the instant success. I also like to play realistic, right? Of course, when you're playing against just the AI and you play the game for a lot of years, you do know some likely workarounds, right? To certain things, maybe some trade things that might work in your favor more than it would the AIs or something of that nature. But that's where I like to use house rules and keep it realistic. So I'm not a big fan of trying to cheese anything. So I take advantage of the slow burn and enjoy it while it's there, and then try to snowball and turn that team into like a juggernaut is the goal with some failing team.
So let's actually talk here, because one of the things that I think is interesting with the base game is what, especially since you've played several versions and things like that. Like we'll just jump into a random save here. What's a shape? What shape are you looking for in like an offensive player? What are the stats? What are the ratings? You know, in a player that you consider, that like, oh, I really want to get that guy. What are the ratings that you think really sing in the game?
Okay, for me, I can't lie. This year, obviously, now again, keep in mind, mine's all base game experience.
100%.
No
And also, let's be clear for anybody watching this, this is also pretty subjective.
True,
Everybody is making their own judgment. Now, you know, it gets less subjective when you franchise and Ripley and the experiments that they do. But even so, you know, I have my own feelings in base game about what makes a good player. And there's very few people that are playing that are just like more green, good. You know, it's like, I'm targeting certain stats here.
Yeah. So I am a fan of having like if you're good at everything, you're great at nothing type thing. So those well-rounded profiles are appealing, but sometimes those dudes, they're like a seesaw, right? Like they're very up and down, I've noticed for the most part. For me this year, like anything lower, which I mean, this is probably, I also use 20 to 80 as well, but anything lower previously than, well, still this year, but then lower than 50 BABIP is like a no-go naturally. But for me, I feel like power can take a player a very long way, regardless of a ton of their other ratings. Like that's the one thing I think is kind of like rules all whenever it comes to the ratings. I do think though that this year as well, a lot of things play better than they ever have before, especially for pitchers. Don't know if you noticed that, but like you
Let's
can
take
get
a look at.
random good seasons out of pitchers that I feel like in previous years, if you had that same player with the exact same ratings, he won't like probably reach one WAR. Like I have dudes this year that consistently reach 2 WAR that I would have never thought would be, that guy.
So with hitters, it sounds like BABIP and power. What about for pitchers? What are the things you're looking at?
For pitchers, well, I do like to play around the park factors a lot. So I guess Oracle obviously has pitcher favored running in their favor a ton, but stuff takes a player far. But I feel like a lot of my opinions aren't really deviated too far from the general consensus, I guess, of the community, at least on the base game side, where control, obviously, it's not like the greatest thing to have the highest, but it kills you if it's the lowest. You know what I mean? Like, which like I said, I think a lot of people will agree with this. So this isn't breaking news or anything, but like 45 control was my cutoff on the 20 to 80 increments of 5 scale. Now for relievers, I can probably live with like 40. But this year pitching BABIP 45 is like 55 last year for me for some reason. Like 45 pitching BABIP has changed the game drastically for me on how I value pitchers because they are just way better now. Like I feel like it's the new 50 or something as far as being the average, because I have dudes regularly just be super consistent with 45 pitching BABIP. It's crazy.
And when you're looking for players, do you are you, how do I want to ask this? Are the secondary stats important to you? Like, are you looking at stamina? Are you looking at hold runners for it? Just are you looking at defense on the other side?
Yeah. No, for pitchers, nah. I mean, stamina matters, yes, but my cutoff for starters, again on the 20 to 80 is 40. I know 35 can still play sometimes for starters, but yeah, 40 is my cutoff for starters on the stand. Other than that, I still, and then of course the number of pitches matter. Like if they have at least 3 for the starters. But like if they have, 2 and then they have like 35 stam, 30 stam, even or higher. The stopper roll is obviously very fun. I think a lot of longtime OOTP players know that as well. But yeah, the stopper roll is very fun. But yeah, defense, I care a ton about defense, of course. Obviously, I think probably a lot of people know now this year, I feel like catching defense matters a little bit even less than it did even like last year or the year before. Obviously, it's still important. And we all still can't help but, fall in love with the blue numbers. If they got them, might as well take advantage of them. But yeah, I definitely very much still care about defense and stuff. Naturally at your premier spots, catcher, center field, shortstop. One thing, second base, even again, purely base game opinions here. I don't know about perfect team, but I feel like second base defense is a lot more picky than it would have been before. Maybe it's just me, but like I feel like it's a lot more. The threshold for what's successful or not is a lot higher this year. Maybe, I mean, even it probably started last year, I feel like, but yeah.
And are you, when you're building a team, I think we all kind of look for young, good players.
Yeah.
What have you noticed about kind of with the development lab and that sort of thing, with sort of the development arc of young players?
I can't lie. I have probably never been as lucky in an OOTP save as I have my national save this year with developing. Like we have multiple players drafted in the 6th round or less that have made it to like 50 plus overall. And I can't explain it. It's crazy, but the TCR has been very much on our side. Obviously, the new draft polls make things a little different since the update in the base game. But but yeah, even then, whenever it's TCR, that's the factor rather than their potential whenever they actually got drafted. I guess you can't even, blame or not the draft pool. But yeah, no, with development, my few rules is as close as you can to max player development budget. If not max, as close as you can possibly be. Obviously, sometimes you have to dip into it to get a deal over the line of free agency or something. But for me, I feel like if I'm dipping into it, and I'm already having to think about dipping into it, then is what I'm trying to dip into it for worth it? Because that's how much I value it. I've had way too many good experiences with max player development budget, and then naturally coaches. Coaches, I think, rule everything even more, but like throughout the minor league system. But those two paired together, it's just great combo.
I don't know, franchise, have you done any experiments with coach stuff? Because I think that would be really interesting to look at how, like, I mean, I guess it would be hard to pinpoint the impact that the coach has would be the trick there.
Yeah, I think I've watched his test before, which I loved them a ton with like the completely average setup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then if one team was good at only one thing or wasn't, like I loved that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess the best way, like, what if he went the same route he did with that, but like all average coaches on a team throughout an entire team, maybe then all poor, but then I guess there's so many underlying modifiers, right? Between personalities of the player, personalities of the coaches, development relationship, all that. It's just, yeah, a lot that goes into the dice roll, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the and isolating one of those variables is really hard. And that's why, as franchise is saying, he turns off coaching and development because it just muddies the waters on, what he's trying to the essence of what he's trying to get there. So when you're you're looking for power and BABIP and then pitchers, you're looking at stuff in PBABIP, or you?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I guess overall, when I'm bidding my teams, I guess again, I'm usually walking into a situation with these teams that are already like awful. So for me, I guess primarily it's building through the draft, and then it's stalling until a lot of your homegrowns are ready, and maybe signing veterans to supplement that. And then along the way, there's a lot of bridge year contracts through free agency. Until again the homegrown start taking over, you got a lot of league minimum or arbitration year guys, and they just hopefully become like the next face of the franchise type thing. So I guess as far as like not necessarily targeting a specific rating, I guess for me, I guess I don't really go into free agency or anything like that and have a filter ready to go for these ratings must be this. Yeah, I guess it's a lot of times it's obviously just BPA if you can help it or if you need it.
Yeah. It's also interesting because you, like most people, I think you do a lot of simming. You sim through games. I am a particular masochist. I play every single game.
I respect the crap out of that.
It's because that's how I interfaced with baseball as a kid.
Yeah,
every game mattered. I watched every game, and it's what I think makes baseball different than any other sport is that it's an endurance test more than anything else.
Yeah.
And, for me, that living and dying every day and how you deal with that is as much a part of baseball as being able to hit a curveball. And so, again, just for me, because I'm a special kind of idiot, like simming is almost undoing that. When you're simming, I don't know, this is wildly inaccurate, but when you sim, it's almost like every year is a game in kind of the way that I think about baseball, because every year you're like, okay, that was a distinct moment and we did great. Oh, this year we did bad, and you're going back and forth. And, it's two different ways to approach it. But the interesting thing about the simming part of it is that like you kind of, notice different things. Like, somebody, like if I'm playing a game, I notice 2 hits in a game. If you're simming, you're like, ooh, a 7-game hit streak, you know? Whereas when you're playing every day, sometimes it's harder to see the forest for the trees. You get so hung up on the individual stuff. And so have you, I know you play out like big games because I've seen you like doing play-by-play and stuff like that. Oh, what's your home run call?
Oh man, I don't even really have one, sadly. It's more likely, since we watch mostly playoff games, that's how I usually play, is just day by day, micromanaging injuries, of course, just simming one day at a time. But yeah, since we watch a lot of playoff games, it's probably usually me freaking out about some huge home run in the playoffs. Can't even do a call, but yeah, that is something I considered. I thought it'd be cool to have. I don't have a soundboard or even a stream deck or anything, but maybe hotkey in the keyboard for a cool home run call on it when something happens. But yeah, don't have one, unfortunately. That's something maybe I have to work on.
Well, it's also interesting because that's also how different people approach things. Like you've got sort of the Dr. Dynastic school where it's basically like watching someone broadcast a game.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in between because mine is mostly just, let me tell you a random story about Jose Uribe. That's sort of my shtick. But you have kind of all these different schools, and then you've got like today EVC was calling a game, and he actually, I liked his home run call is out of the park baseball, which I think is kind of funny.
I mean,
although you're a corporate shill, EVC, but it's and some of that stuff, like you've built a community now, and so what are some of my favorite part of streams are the weird in jokes with the communities. So like, what are some of the in jokes that your community has built?
I am a big request scouting report 24/7 almost kind of guy. Like if a scouting report is like more than 2 months old, I gravitate instantly to request a new one, to the point they joke about it all the time. That's very much my thing. And
so are you immediately hiring the best scout you can?
It depends. See, I do like the realism side. Like I was saying earlier, I could full-blown brand new staff, best in slot, all of it. If the starting one is decent off the jump, I'll roll with it, at least the duration of the contract or something. But
it's kind of funny if you keep asking a crappy scout for a scouting report.
It's like, are you better yet? Like, is the player bad, or are you better? Or,
are you sure?
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's one ongoing joke, is that I overly request them and stuff. But I think I've rubbed off on a few people because it catches the TCR pretty fast, rather than whenever they just run on their own.
Right.
And then you get the player development update, and that's how you found out, versus knowing before that even came.
The dreaded player development.
But yeah.
Those never go well for me.
There's a lot more red than green, that's for sure.
So are you mainly scouting your own players? Are you scouting?
Yeah. So I'm very much, pretty much, if I'm like, I love just looking at player profiles, like randomly. I'll just be simming along and I'll look at a player profile. I'm obsessed with scrolling through my minor league system, even, and the prospects. And if I see someone that's even just at high accuracy, I feel inclined right away to just request it, because it doesn't say very high. That's just, I don't know. That's just how it goes. And
your scout hates you.
Yeah, he definitely does. He does not get a day off. He's probably scouting right now. But yeah, no, I don't know. That's the way it goes. I just feel inclined to do it. It feels like it works for whatever reason. I don't know what's working, but I'm doing it.
There you go. Have you, so what is your favorite what's your favorite story that's come out of these streams? Because I think what I love about baseball is the weird stories, the narratives.
A funny one. Okay, so we had this 20-year-old rookie. He was an international amateur free agent signing. Calvin Liao, an insane center field defender, crazy power. I think he has 80 power versus lefty, 75 versus righties, whatever. And he has like 70 rating at center, 70 outfield range. Great, right? Future of the franchise. Had a crazy first rookie season, had like 5+ WAR. We get to the playoffs. We still win the World Series all in all.
So he goes straight to the majors?
No, not straight. No. Okay. But the fact he made it at 20 did blow my mind. That's something I'm noticing this year. People are making it way earlier than previous years. But yeah, no, so he made it up, which was a feat in its own, an international amateur free agent actually making it to the league. But we had an 18-inning game versus the Mets in the division series, and he struck out 8 times. Yes,
Wow.
8 times. He struck out 8 times, and I was tweaking. There's a clip of it out there somewhere, and I was freaking out. I was so mad because it was always, of course, in the most clutch moment to end the game. We played 2 games in 1 in the playoffs, and I was ready to scream. But that's probably the craziest story. The box score was hilarious because at the special notes in the bottom, it's Calvin Leal broke the record for yada yada, broke the record for yada yada, and it's him over and over breaking it for 5 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts, and it's comedy all in all. And then ultimately he ends up having a crazy World Series after a horrible LDS. And yeah,
see, those are the moments I love when at the time you're just like ranting and like raving, and you're gonna rage quit, and then it becomes later on it becomes a great story.
Yeah.
So when do you have, I know on the thing it says random times, but I feel like you've got a little bit of a schedule. So what is your streaming schedule like?
Yeah, I think I'd mentioned it whenever, of course, he was kind enough to put me on the the block. That was awesome, by the way. I think it's going to do that for everybody. But it's Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday around 8 p.m. Eastern is my start time. So yeah, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday has been what I've been rolling with. At first, I was sporadic because I was very much YouTube was main priority. Now a lot of that's kind of on autopilot. So now I could finally commit to a schedule, which I felt like people did deserve because people kept asking, like, when are you this? When are you that? And I was like, okay, finally, I'm just going to make one. So yeah, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday around 8 p.m. Eastern.
So friends, if you're not already, give TeeClev a follow. Go check out his streams. It's very, I've really enjoyed. I've jumped in a couple times. We've rated each other a couple times, and it's always fun. But follow all the affiliates. But if you find yourself needing those drops, TeeClev's got you on those 3 days a week. And Sunday drops can be kind of rare, so that's a nice one. So you're mainly playing base game. Have you ever built a perfect team? Have you ever done or you just open packs?
The most I've done open pack, Ask AI. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I could stay there. I'm not joking. I spend forever trying to plan like an off season in the base game, right? Especially if there's like a log jam of prospects. If I had to like sit there and decipher, because I understand it's obviously a lot more competitive, and I'm quite the competitive person. Like when it comes to other games, so I would very much be a min max kind of guy, the best I could, and yeah, it would get.
I would slowly drive you mad.
Yeah, time consuming for sure.
So it's interesting. What I'm hearing is that for you, the game is almost the off season.
Yeah, it's like a release from constantly being competitive, because like I've been very much a competitive shooter player most of my life growing up. It's very relaxing for me. It's like a turn off from always like, I can bring it on autopilot, have fun. Yeah. Well,
but also what I mean is, like, for you, the meat of OOTP is the off season.
Yeah, sorry.
Like,
that's
like,
true.
Like kind of sim through the season. And that's, I think one of the fun things about the game is how there's so many different ways to kind of approach the game, and so many different ways that it can scratch whatever your itch is. For me, it's that up and down of every game. For you, it's the, I want to dive into the off season and, look at spreadsheets and, dive through all this. Or for other people, it's, I want to do perfect team, and I want to like get all the cards. And that's, that's, I think, one of the fun things about the game. And it's honestly, it's one of the things that I think makes OOTP like a desert island game, is that, you could play OOTP for the rest. You could play OOTP 27 for the rest of your life, and you'd be playing different games like all the time.
That's true. Different. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I want to really think about it. Like, kind of live and die by the offseason and the draft.
We get the cat content. That's a little one too.
Yeah, that's the new kitten. That's the new friend. That's Zara. She actually wants to come over. She's only, I think, 3.5 months now. So.
Now my wife is interested.
Zara. This is
Oh, that
Zara.
is a-
This is Moni's new friend. It's Mona. We call her Moni, obviously, but this is Zara. Mona is
so
our
cute.
longtime cat. Yeah, she's made many appearances on stream already. She likes to sit right here on my desk, right in front of me, and look right at the monitor. And is obsessed whenever I do watch games in 3D. And she was our assistant GM.
I love it.
Right now
My cat
here.
Lucifer, for some reason, I don't know if it's because I talk louder when I do this or something, just freaks out when I stream and disappears. That's awesome.
He just wants to be everywhere at that point.
Yeah.
He's like not out of sight.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I use a light. Maybe it's the light. I don't know. Yeah. But as soon as I start up, Widge is like, nope, I'm out. But we will always respect cat content here. That is the main thing. Well, so the fact that you'd only play base game makes this game even funnier, because here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a Franken draft.
All right.
And the Franken draft is we take the my favorite tournament, the 5L, and we are gonna alternate rounds.
Okay.
And so we're gonna take turns drafting. I'm still in the 6L. Yay, me. So these are lower level tournaments. So all the cards are kind of crappy.
Okay.
And so your the 5L is dead ball. So we only need like 7 or 8 pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
I bet this team didn't draft. No, they drafted. I swept a team that drafted. All right, that makes me happy. But now I'm losing. Frickin' JPEGs. Oh man. So it's dead ball. So we're gonna have plenty of position players that we can fit in. And the way the draft works is it's 13 rounds, 2 players per round, and they're gonna be lower level cards. So these are not going to be the best cards available.
Okay.
And I do 1 round, you do 1 round. We go back and forth, and I'm happy to open any player you want to look at. I'm also happy to give you thoughts. I'll give you, in general, in dead ball, PBABIP is kind of all that matters.
Okay.
For pitchers.
Okay.
For hitters, power doesn't matter.
Right.
But
is on base pretty valuable there in general?
On base
profiles?
avoid K, like the top. Basically, a good dead ball shape is the top 3 high up, and then everything else you don't care about.
Okay, no I either. Okay.
I mean, I is useful. Don't get me wrong, but
still not as valuable as the top 3.
Yeah. Hey, Dub, good to see you, man. We are about to do the Franken draft here with TeeClev, who does not play perfect. So look. Okay, friends, we love and we support everyone who plays this game, no matter how they play it. So we're not going to judge TeeClev and his knowledge of the game or anything like that based on a stupid game that he plays on my stupid stream. That's the disclaimer.
Use it as an educating topic here, because listen, that is something right away that I would obsess with learning if I dove into Perfect Team, is the correlation to just what plays well in what environment. Because obviously I use 2080 acres 5 in base game. Obviously in Perfect Team it's not that. So is there a direct correlation between like a 50 rating as something in Perfect Team? Is there a correlation for what that is on that number scale, or no, it's not that straightforward, right?
It's not that straightforward because the numbers can go to like 300. They go incredibly high up. So really, in some ways, you're actually looking at the color band, from green to blue to, I don't know what it goes up to, but the specific numbers, one of I'm actually going to retract that, because the challenge of sometimes you look at the color band and you're like, yellow bad, but if it's at the top end of yellow, if it's almost green, not so bad, that sort of thing. And as Franchise just pointed out, every week new cards come out, and all of a sudden the best first baseman is not the best first baseman anymore, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's it kind of it's a weird. It's more an art than a science.
Okay.
So we're playing in 1913. So home runs not really a thing. We go with a 3-man rotation. Not a lot to worry about there. And then we're playing in a park that doesn't like offense. So that adds to it. But
triples, holy gap power.
Yeah. So gap and speed are I think are things I look for.
Okay.
Gap and speed. So I'll take the first round and we'll go from there.
All right.
There's news on the t-shirt front. We went to Michael's. And I have tea juice now. So we will have the arts and crafts stream soon for Clay Dog's t-shirt.
That's pretty cool. Do you do you write on the shirt with that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So as an example, this is a pretty good dead ball shape.
Okay.
But the glove gives one pause, because one weird thing about dead ball is that errors are much higher.
Yeah, because balls like ground a lot more, I guess.
Yeah. But dear. But I'd probably play him at second base. But you can't. That bat is kind of undeniable. So we're definitely taking him. And then, I mean, the other thing is,
as far as you said pitching BABIP for pitchers and dead ball.
Yeah.
Right?
The other thing is, I tend to avoid splitty pitchers. Now, this is a shape I don't mind, because not very splitty, not bad PBABIP. You don't really have to worry about Cardenas. I might actually go no pitcher. I might just take Marte and Cardenas, and that's a middle infield for you.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I guess for the hitting side, right, the perfect counter to high pitching BABIP is hitting BABIP, I guess, right? A high on that side.
Yeah.
Higher,
does a good offense beat a good defense?
Right.
And so this Egler card is not bad, just because that gap power and speed.
That defense is respectable, no?
It's not bad. I don't want to play him in center field.
Right, yeah, for sure.
If I can help it. But all right, so this will be your round.
Okay.
So now I'll tell you, just shorthand, most people consider Hyun-Soo Kim to be a must draft.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know how you don't draft him with this era, especially.
Yeah, he is a very good dead ball shape.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Ricky Henderson is an interesting shape. Some people really like him. Some people don't. He doesn't really, the defense is not great.
Yeah.
But, that's a pretty good dead ball bat. But, I personally am not a Ricky guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree with Kim probably being a must grab.
Yeah.
For sure.
Paul DeJong is an interesting case, although less so given the first round. He's got gap power, a little speed, but just really good defense. But given that we just drafted 2 middle infielders, less of a thing
for sure.
Eddie Smith, are you splitty? Yeah. See, this is the splittiness will really throw you off at times.
Okay.
I mean, what are the other pitchers? Ben McDonald. That's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, he's not bad, huh?
That could work.
Is that control still is that serviceable for you for your starter, like in perfect team, do you think? Or in this case,
as long,
dead ball especially?
If it's like 55, I'm happy. Control is definitely for dead ball. HRA is the dump stat. I don't care about HRA, but then control would be number 3. Stuff is 2, and PBABIP is 1.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Was there another? Okay, so you looked at Eddie. I guess that was the only other starters, right?
Yeah. I think Ben or Eddie are your.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a lot else exciting.
Was Wingo good? I don't know if we looked at him or not.
Not.
Which a lot of these players you probably look at so much you just know as soon as you see him.
Yeah, but I mean,
and he's very splitty too.
Not great. He's splitty. Yeah. And I mean,
not a great
of the 3, Avoid K is probably the one I care about the least.
Yeah.
Really, I want BABIP, and then I want gap power as long as there's speed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it's got to be probably Kim and McDonald
All right.
I think for now.
Big
It's fine with
Ben
me.
joins the team. Our number one starter. So here's a weird one. This Satchel Paige, like, there are wonderful people like Seawit and others who will just keep track of tons of tournament data. And even though I just told you all of that stuff about pitchers that are successful in dead ball, this Satchel Paige card dominates in dead ball.
Interesting.
And for the life of me,
is that why?
For the life of me, I cannot figure it out. But the number, at a certain point, the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he just defies the odds.
his WOBA is like ridiculous, and I got no clue why. Well, what's interesting, Explicit, is that Dirty Secret, all the pitches do is determine the stuff. That's the pitches are like the two things. If you are playing any level of OTP, two things that you can ignore are the overall number, which is meaningless, and the pitches, because all the pitches do is create stuff. They create the stuff rating.
Yeah, between stuff. Yeah, and then obviously their actual, like, I guess velocity does have an impact too as well, right? Pretty sure the actual velocity number, but definitely just mostly the pitches for sure.
Yeah,
that's always the biggest shock factor, I think, when people are trying to learn. They're like, "Oh, this guy's fastball is nasty." I'm like, "True," but it's just making up the stuff rating.
Right. And overall for new players is always the hang up, because as the cards sort of come out, there are going to be bronze cards that are better than almost every gold. There are going to be there's going to be a 68 card that is going to be better than all the 82s or something, and that that always can be hard for people to wrap their heads around. Because in general, we as human beings are trained big number better.
Right.
I really like this Brent Main for dead ball. Now, unfortunately, no speed, so he's not going to hit triples, but the BABIP is great, and in dead ball, catcher blocking is your number one thing you look for. Well, Katsu, he's Satchel Paige is going to start. This will be a starting pitcher in dead ball.
Yeah, true. I can't lie. I didn't realize him being listed as a reliever. That didn't even catch my mind for Paige.
Yeah. So we're going to go, although, man, I love Craig Reynolds. Ooh, I really like that Craig Reynolds. But we're going to go Brent Main, just because good dead ball catchers are hard to find. I also like this Meyerly card, just because,
his speed as well.
Yeah, he's a triple, just waiting to happen. And I love that.
Would you guys agree in Perfect Team that you feel like catching defense, obviously it's still important, you don't ignore it, I guess, but like, do you feel like it's not as impactful?
It really depends. Framing was big last year.
Yeah. I guess framing I should talk about, because obviously, I guess the other stuff for framing obviously has, I guess, been the main topic in previous years. That's where my mind goes when I talk about catching defense. So yeah,
framing is the big one. Now, this Cannizzaro is a surprisingly solid dead ball catcher as well. Again, high blocking, pretty good BABIP. But unless you're going to platoon, and Maine is not a platoon candidate, I'm not sure having two catchers that are about the same level is particularly useful. And now this Tettleton is also now not a good defender, but pretty good BABIP. The power kind of doesn't matter, but the eye is very nice.
Yeah, very good.
I mean, Tettleton could be your first baseman. If you were so inclined. Ooh, well, I'm out of all the tournaments now. This Tim Salmon is an interesting case because mainly a modern day, power and eye. You love power and eye.
Yeah.
But only plays right field, and by plays, I mean butchers.
Yeah, right. He exists.
Yeah. He stands in right field. So it's it's a very situational card. Steve Barber, super splitty.
Splitty, yeah.
And let's see, who else do we have? Vickery. Vickery is okay, but a reliever.
Like average, yeah.
And I mean, relievers in this are so hit or miss in terms of they may not actually see the field.
Yeah.
if again, Eddie Brasoud, not a bad middle infielder, but we have
Filled those
two.
up. Yeah.
Now maybe he could be third base, versus righties.
True.
Um,
do we look
Jack
at
Meyer, not really what we're
yeah.
looking for here. Landis, Altizer,
Yeah,
Kurt Schilling,
okay.
this is a hilarious card.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He
Wow.
never saw a lefty he could get out. And the problem is the thing he's best at is the thing this tournament doesn't care about.
Yeah, of course. Unless it's, I guess, versus righties, but
yeah.
all right.
Any names grabbing you?
This run's a little tough, I guess.
Well, and that's also the interesting thing about drafts is that you just might get crappy cards.
RNG, yeah. Did you look at Babe there? Dahlgren? Or Dahlgren?
Oh, yeah.
Butchering his last name. I can't remember. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
Sort of.
Okay.
Perfectly cromulent.
Was it Tettleton that you thought might play okay?
I mean, Tettleton could play first, really. I think, but it's
still the power's useless kind of.
Yeah, I mean the eye's really nice. Brasoud could be third base versus righties.
That might be one of the better options now, I guess, because
I mean Vickery. I mean we are going to draft 4 relievers, so Vickery's not terrible.
Yeah, he could be a solid one to get out of the way, I guess. He's at least, I guess, balance splits wise.
Yeah. All right. So Vickery, and then who do you like, Brasoud or Tettleton?
Probably Brasoud. I think Brasoud. I know it'll just be versus righties, but
yeah. Dub wants to give us a little hint here, and that is that look at this.
Oh shoot.
Vickery can hit, so Vickery is a pinch hitter.
Oh,
that's the stuff. See, there are a bunch of people who just have all of these cards memorized. I am not those people.
Yeah, I can see how that saves a ton of time when drafting, though.
Yeah, I wish I could take. I love Johnny Burkett, my beloved Pro Bowler. Brennan is not terrible. This is my contractually obligated mention of Hideki Matsui's encyclopedic porn collection. Did we take Brasoud? We did.
Yeah.
So Headley could maybe be versus lefty, the third baseman, but so I think it's Brennan for sure. And then Babich, no, Splitty. Maybe it is Headley. That's unfortunate.
Wait, how's Gleb? Oh yeah, never mind. Splitty.
Gleb and Splitty, he early he was a launch card, and so launch bronzes now are like, have been superseded, let's just say.
Yeah, afterthought.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be Headley, and I don't love it, but at least he can play a couple positions.
Yeah.
All right, this is your round. So Cruz would be okay in another draft. Another sad giant pitcher. So we could ride the Booten coaster. Jim Booten is he is so up and down. You never know what you're gonna get. But those numbers are pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. It's looking like he should probably be a mainstay for this round.
I think so, yeah. And then, so Clendenin is a surprisingly good shape for a first baseman for dead ball.
Okay, yeah, I think he's definitely second pick as of now. How did Brian look? Talent? Is that how you say his name?
Talent, yeah.
I mean, he's another reliever, so
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly cromulent. All right, so Clendenin
is good. Yeah.
All right. Bam. All right. Who is John Gant? Speaking of inside jokes.
Yeah, I agree. Explicit. I was like, wait a minute. I got to stop yapping about these rounds. We got 6 minutes.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to take 2 pitchers. That'll put us at 7 pitchers already.
Okay.
Okay. So this is your round again. So we want to we need outfielders.
We got outfield. Yeah.
And of course, so this Tony Gwynn Jr. is not terrible.
Yeah, splits.
Good defense.
Great defender,
plus defense.
Would that go ahead and shore up the center field spot potentially?
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody else? Herrera
catcher,
can play all over.
No, yeah, we got catcher. I forgot we got a catcher.
I mean, Milt May wouldn't be. I guess you could just have him be your backup. Like maybe he plays mainly versus lefties.
True, yeah.
Or
I mean,
something.
he at least has the BABIP if needed to. Okay.
Spud is kind of a I mean, he's a one-trick pony, but it's a pretty good trick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, versus Ready Sue, he's good for a solid extra base hit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need outfielders. I think Spud and Gwynn would shore up center.
Now, here's another one. This Johnny Noon is a meta card at first base. He's nice. He plays better than his stats would his ratings would
Those
show.
Players are always fun.
Yeah. So I think it's between Gwynn and Noon, and I'll let you pick.
We'll do Noon just because.
Okay.
I guess we'll take the dice roll on a center fielder soon.
There we go. Don Clendenin is sad now. We just drafted him, and we just drafted your replacement.
Oh man, no! I totally forgot that. Yeah.
That happens all the time, you know. It's a cutthroat business.
Yeah.
We only have one catcher, but Pop Snyder is not the answer. Neither is Buck Martinez, who would be good in a regular shape. Doyle, I mean, I need Don C. Laptop's announcing him now. I think. I mean, we have 7 pitchers. I don't want to go too much more. Like 8, 9 pitchers. Somebody's not gonna play. I'm gonna go Charlie Huff and Davey Concepcion.
Okay.
All right. This is your round 10.
If you just want to do quick hovers, I'm totally fine with that too. Like,
so Vince Coleman is, he's not bad for this tournament. And pretty good outfield center for this defense. Or no? Yeah, he can play center field.
That's fine. Okay. That works.
These are all pitchers. Although Hank White,
every single one except for the third baseman, top left. Huh? Oh well, no, there's Wes and Frankie as well.
Bullwag is okay versus lefties. Gustine, I think maybe is the pick just for a middle infield.
I'm with it.
Kind of utility.
Yeah.
All right. We get a little extra time on the last round, so don't lose too much sleep.
Okay.
And we're but the last round is actually the best card, so that's the hard part, is that you want to make sure you get that last card. Now we're only picking one, and I'm gonna take I don't like this round. I don't like this round at all. I'm gonna take Abreu because he's a better defender. All right, these are the really crappy iron cards now. Now, that being said, Pumpsy is a left-handed legend.
Wait, yeah, like he's actually got a lot of value versus lefties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else might be okay here? Pumpsy. Well, Al Birch is actually not terrible either. And again, outfield.
Yeah.
Oh, fudge, Coleman. That's right. We do need a center fielder, so Birch might be a must draft here.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That works.
All right, we'll take Birch.
We got a little lucky.
And now I'm going to give you the silver round here.
Oh man, no! I was hoping you would keep it. Okay.
So Asegian is better in a regular tournament. Mason could play maybe a little center field. Gisentainer is a nice pitcher.
Is he pretty balanced versus split? Yeah, he is.
He's got a good number of BBAP. Can he hit? No, he can't. Well, a little bit. He's got more of a bat. The killer is a modern guy. Pearsall just doesn't have the BABIP.
Man.
He's got gap power and speed.
What about Griffey? He's probably just not going to fit.
Low level card. This is late in his career.
Yeah.
Okay versus righties.
Okay.
Man, it might be Asegian. Although Asegian is no great shakes. This is going poorly.
What about Hoy? Good Hoy K's, that's about
solid. I've done worse. It might.
Charlie's, I guess, pretty balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be Mason. I wish the gap power was a little higher.
How was the third baseman Gary?
Had.
Oh yeah, versus lefties, and he's a good defender. He could be. I think he's better at center than.
Yeah, he would be our starting center fielder. Now the BABIP gives one pause, but But A-Dub, who knows this tournament as well as anybody, says that Pearsall is elite.
Just not bad at it. He said.
So I'm
down. I'm down. That's totally fine with me.
I like take A-Dub as the tiebreaker here.
Absolutely.
I think about Gisentainer, but we already have 8 pitchers, so I think we're going to go Pearsall.
Okay. Now that that's done, I actually have a question about the pitcher thing. So when you're doing these drafts, I didn't want to interrupt in the middle because I know we were getting pressed for time. But so is it due to the era of time, like that you want that many pitchers, or you're fine with that many, or is that a thing that you, like unanimous across all the drafts?
No, so what you look at is, let's see here. Oh, it won't show it to me yet. The draft rules. So this this tournament is played with strategy and stats that resemble the year 1913.
Oh, okay, so they went way deeper in the games and stuff.
And so you're I think they use like the era. You can go like on Baseball Reference or something, and you can go versus 20 whatever. I think 2018 is the baseline for OOTP, and then you can go, what's the difference with 1913, and see like, oh, there's so many less triples, there's so many more errors. And so you figure out 2010 is the base. Okay. And so you figure out like some of it you learn by trial and error, like how many pitchers, and some people will draft 9 pitchers. I have found that if I draft 9 pitchers, one of them just doesn't play. And, I'd rather have that spot be doing something. Hey, we didn't draft a backup catcher.
Sneaky first base catching defense.
Really. Let's hope somebody will sneak in there. Can anybody else
2 first baseman, no backup catcher? Classic.
Can anybody play catcher? Nope. That's exciting. Well, we're gonna find out how much stamina Brent Main has. He's a gamer.
Brent Main's gonna get some work.
Yeah, he's gonna earn his paycheck. And so so it's important to know what the era is, and the era actually has the most impact on how you want to draft. The park factors less so.
Okay.
You want to, it is classic to not draft the backup catcher. That is a classic perfect draft move.
Gosh.
And so, as you're going through the draft, you want to, if you know that it's dead ball, and you always know what the era is. There are no, although, now I totally want to do a draft where you don't know what the era is. I wonder if they could do that. Like it changes every time or something.
That would be cool. Like it does tell you at the end though. So you
that's right. Oh, for the last round, you find out, hey, surprise.
Yeah.
But so when you're like this team is going to have like 8 guys that just are sitting on the bench at any given time, and so you can really do a lot of, if you want to, if say you're more into micromanaging than I am, you can really set up platoons and that sort of thing, and really take advantage of, okay, this guy's really great versus righties, sucks versus lefties, that sort of thing. The other part of Perfect Team is this strategy screen,
right?
Where you can set what you're basically telling the AI manager what you want them to do. Now the AI manager will ignore you most of the time. You can say, don't steal bases, and the AI manager is going to be like, let's steal bases.
Every single one, actually. Let's steal them all.
Yeah, let's just go for it. So a wise man once said, fooling around with these strategies will lose you more games than it will win you. In general, like it's really easy to think you know what you're doing and just go like, haha, I'm going to do this. But there are a few kind of era things, like if you're playing in the modern era, making your, changing your hook, how quickly you're going to pull your starters and your relievers, messing around with pitch around and intentional walk. Because in the modern game, starters only go like 6 innings. Yeah. And so if you're having them pitch around a lot, they're going to use a lot more pitches. And so reducing that can make a big difference. reducing intentional walks, just because you know what, I hate putting people on. And so you could also fool around. There are presets, you know, that are era specific and that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I don't want to be the reason that TeeClev becomes a perfect team sicko. That is
just
not.
from now, just perfect edition rule is like,
yeah, but
always be able to point the finger to this.
Yeah, that's right. This was your hey, look, the first one's free, TeeClev. So, you know, I really enjoy the drafts because you don't have to have all the great cards. You get a pool. Sometimes it's a crappy pool, but you get a pool, so you get to see a lot of different cards. You get to fool around with a lot of different cards, that sort of thing. So you have been very generous with your time, TeeClev. I know it's problem, late out in your neck of the woods. But I like to ask, like, what are like your 3 desert island games?
Okay, so I want to be honest. Earlier, I heard you call like OOTP a desert island game.
Yeah, you
exactly
do not have to.
Your definition, though.
Let's take OOTP. OOTP is a given.
Right.
So 3 that are not OOTP.
So desert island exactly meaning what? Because I can't lie, I'm not too familiar with the term. But I think I got the gist of it earlier.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only play 3 games, you know, so essentially, it was interesting because the last time I asked this question, somebody said Final Fantasy VII, and I was shocked because, like, an RPG, like, it seems to me like once I've played it once,
maybe I'm not going back. A huge RPG or like story game guy, I guess. The replayability obviously isn't necessarily there for me either on those. But being a big competitive gamer, which I guess on a desert island, assuming we don't have internet, if we're not overthinking it that much or whatever, that is tough. I would probably have to go with another sports sim game. I can't lie. Football Manager would be right there then if I can't say OOTP. I am absolutely obsessed.
I'm old. I played Championship Manager. So. Okay.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. But no, this game called...
Are you straight 4-4-2? What is your...
the tactics in and outs, I'm obsessed with it. I don't like downloading a tactic or anything like that, or just taking, like, you know, best in slot, cheese the AI. I love trying to critique it and make it my own. I'm a big 3 at the back or 5 at the back, whichever way you want to look at it, guy. As far as 4 at the back, I do enjoy standard 4-3-3 is pretty fun. You can do a lot with it. But yeah, obviously, I enjoyed the advancement of tactics over the years in real life.
I love 5 in the back with a sweeper. That's my strat of choice.
Okay.
I think Championship Manager, 100% a desert island game.
Yeah, I'd have to say Football Manager. And again, I guess growing up, I've been a big competitive like shooter player, and a lot of that is online based games. Yeah. Offline. Trying to think.
Well,
I'll throw Escape from Tarkov in there because that's like it's a shooter game. I've never heard
of Escape. Really? What is Escape from Tarkov?
It's an extraction shooter. It also has PvP in it. There is a PvE element to it as well, like where you're just AI.
I'm going to ask a dumb question.
What
is an extraction shooter?
Yeah, no worries. You take loot in. You take your kit in that you have on you, right? You go in there, and your goal is to get better loot and make it out safely with it. While you're in there, there's tons of other things trying to kill you in the process. And if you kill other people, and you can take their gear and leave with it as well. That's what extraction shooter is. So yeah.
I think I might have played. I don't know. Was Borderlands an extraction shooter?
See, honestly, I know Borderlands is huge, and I'm probably gonna sound crazy for not playing this, but I've never played Borderlands.
Because it had like, you know, this is a better gun. You know, this gun is it's green, and this one was, you know.
What's the word for those? There's another word. There's an exact word for that. I cannot remember. But another game, you know what? Holy, I just thought of a game that I ain't played in years, but it was like my most played game back in the day. The first Division game. I think that's where I first fell in love with extraction shooters. Ubisoft's The Division, the first one. It was very much exactly what you described. It was rerun multiple content to try and upgrade and get best in slot loot. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I haven't played shooters a lot since Unreal Tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's actually one thing is I've been very much when I grew up shooters and sports games, very ooga booga,
Now, wait,
two
so you played
genres.
shooters on the console?
Yeah, yeah. Growing up,
Holy,
I was a
I
big
can't even aim with those.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I was a big competitive Call of Duty player growing up and still had like that itch to play it like on a very amateur semi-pro level just up
Mm.
until years ago. Um yeah, so was obsessed with that. Uh Played it on console, but then even after playing it on PC, I would still play with a controller because that's what I knew my whole life. Um
Wow.
but yeah.
Wow. The only chance I have in a shooter is mouse look.
Yeah, that's just I guess me just growing up with controller most of the time in my hands, and so obviously the process to playing shooters with mouse and keyboard, like I learned mouse and keyboard on Tarkov, and that game has so many key binds. It's probably the worst decision I ever made, but I can probably hit every key now with my eyes closed because of it at least. But yeah, yeah, Tarkov,
I've never heard of
Football
us.
Manager, and probably the Division. But yeah, yeah, Tarkov's
So
pretty
two
cool.
shooters. Wow.
Yeah, it probably would be more if I had better internet out there.
So do you like are shooters sort of your recreation playing time? Do you play what's the one that D Block plays? Fortnite?
I did back in its heyday. It's been years now. But yeah, yeah, I remember whenever it was very much super popular, you know, everybody that you knew and their mom was on it. I definitely dabbled a good bit back then, but I haven't played it in years now.
My mom has never played Fortnite.
Oh well, tread.
Uh, but yeah, I've watched a little bit of that, but I just
Yeah.
don't. Uh, I had no like all of a sudden he's building things, and I was just lost. Like, what the
Yeah,
hell's going
that's a
on?
different element to that one. Yeah, those like
Now
battle
it's
royale
mining.
games, they'd been out for a hot minute and then they added the building element to it and that obviously changed the game for them. So
I've always been a turn-based strategy guy. So like, like I could just take any civilization. Like you give me Crusader Kings and Civilization and OOTP, and I may not want to leave the island.
you just unlocked a memory. Holy wait, you saying Crusader? Stronghold Crusader back in the day as a
Oh
kid
yeah.
hardly knew how to play the game. I was obsessed with that game. At that time, I had zero clue it was strategy based. I was very much like build my castle, take my
Right.
time. And then now looking back, it's very much speed run to be ahead
Yeah,
of your
real-time
opponent. Yeah,
strategy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
processed it back then though. Back then it was like coolest thing ever having a
Right. Back
giant
then it's like
castle.
I get to build a castle. This is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah, so
funny.
that game would have to be there, honestly. I did not even think about that.
I mean, it's one of the things I love about video games in general is like you played a video game when you were like 12 and it left some weird imprint in your head, and
Yeah.
you've never forgotten like a build tree or something, and all of a sudden somebody mentions it and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I know
Yep.
all of this.
If you played that
Franchise
back in
goes
the
Solitaire, Minesweeper, and OTP.
right? The classic combo.
It's a very
Not
sad island. Very sad.
Also, yeah, I mean, I guess if you did play Stronghold Crusader, by the way, I freaked out the other day when I saw they're making a brand new one, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's pretty huge.
I'm gonna shout you out again.
I appreciate
Friends,
that.
we linked to TeeClev's YouTube page. There are a ton of videos there, which I'm excited to dive in there. I actually hadn't looked at your YouTube page. I've only watched your Twitch stuff. But give TeeClev a follow on Twitch. You'll be glad you did. It's very fun, especially if you are a Nationals fan. You can get in there, or a Braves fan. The Braves still pop up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll empathize with you about the Braves being bad right now.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. And actually, that's what I was going to say is that I have noticed your chat. I almost felt like I was like listening to sports talk radio or something. Your chat is super active, talking like sports and talking like what's going on in the games that are happening and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, like my phone is always blowing up with different like sports noties about stuff, like whether it's breaking news. I follow almost, I won't say every sport, pretty much mainstream ones like soccer, American football, baseball, basketball. So all in all year round.
Stupid Twitch question. What is your favorite of your emotes?
Ooh,
You put
probably.
it in the chat. Drop it in the chat so we can
Okay.
see what
Okay.
your favorite of your emotes is.
I think
Because
I've got to go too.
I've
Like my
become
personal emotes.
mildly fascinated by like the choices people make in terms of their emotes.
Okay. Okay. I'd have to say this one of my cat, and it's too tough. And I figured out how to animate an emote one time, and I ran with it, and I never did it again. Those two. I wouldn't even call that animated. I'd call that like whatever that is. But that's my other cat.
So the funny thing is, there are like 8 other streamers that have that exact same emote.
Which will
Like
all with the palm
the
face
face
moving.
like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I think Dynastic has that exact one. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. The classic
Let me see if
pog
I can.
emote.
Do I have?
I can't lie. I'm a big
Um,
7 TV enjoyer though, like the browser extension. I don't know if you guys are
oh
familiar
yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Big enjoyer of that though.
I like the cat one. That is very solid. We have. I also have. We've
My
got
emotes are very
our
basic.
Lucifer
Oh,
emote.
oh, that's awesome.
Do you have like do you make emotes for like whatever team you're running now, like Washington or something like that?
No, it's something I thought about. I think I can't lie. I feel like 7 TV and better TTV have taken over the space to the point
Mm.
that if you go on there on the dashboard and you search an emote you think of, it exists probably, and then you can add it to obviously your personal channel 7 TV thing. Um, they've kind of I feel like taken the emote world over
Mm.
as far as 7 TV goes. But no, I haven't done that no. Like a couple that I guess I try to be on theme with is like there's one that's like a bomb for home runs.
Mm.
I thought about having some typical K or backward K emote for strikeouts and stuff, but yeah, would have
I
to dabble.
well, since Amber's here, I just have to put up my anti-Dodgers ones here.
I'm
Uh,
with it.
so it is midnight where you are. So is I'm going to give you the floor for a minute. Give people the elevator pitch for your stream.
Oh man, all right. If you enjoy the base game at all, and if you want to learn, if you have any single question you can think of about the base game, I like to think I'm educated enough to give an educated answer. If you're brand new, I promise you'll learn something. I feel like even if you're a veteran, I think you'll learn maybe one thing, and I would be happy to also learn from you. I feel like that's the thing with this game. There's so many different ways to achieve the ultimate end goal of success in the game. Like there's so many things that are literally just opinion. That's why I value the channels and content out there that do take the chance to prove what's fact and what's not when it comes to testing things.
Mm.
But yeah, if you're looking for a beginner's friendly, ask anything that you feel like is a dumb question. I'm very firm on the no question is a dumb question motto. That would be me.
Challenge accepted.
I'm always with it.
Just gonna start showing up in your chat going, hey, what kind of sandwich do you like? I keep thinking of questions. Well, TeeClev, thank you so much for being part of the show. This was awesome. I hope that we can have you back sometime and look at how your YouTube game has elevated, and we can see from there. But again, friends, give TeeClev a follow. One of our newest affiliates. You'd love to see it. Thanks so much,
Yeah,
TeeClev.
no, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I've been looking forward to it. I kept telling my chat to look out for it and stuff, and it's been a blast, honestly. The time flew by. If you hadn't mentioned the time, I wouldn't have even saw it. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you guys so
no,
much. I
that's it's
appreciate
funny
obviously the
that
shout outs and
always
everything.
happens where all of a sudden it's like, wait, it's been 2 hours? What?
You're right,
Like
right.
and it's the reason that I want to do this show, because I love to just have conversations, because every affiliate is playing the game differently. And that's so neat. And to find out like how they're playing, how they found the game, that
Mhm.
sort of thing is really, I
Yeah,
think, fun. All
yeah.
right, I'm gonna let you go. Good night.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no problem. Good night. Thank you guys so much. Bye,
Yep.
chat. Thank you guys for being kind. Bye.
There we go. TeeClev, that was awesome. Baldur's Gate 3 is the best game ever made. It is. It actually, Amber, was on my desert island list. My desert island list was BG3, Pick a Civ, and Crusader Kings. Those would be my three. Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible. It is the rare role-playing game that you could play. I'm playing now through us. I beat it once. I'm playing a second time, and the game is totally different. There's so much that is different the second time. It's fantastic. That was great. TeeClev, I had watched and I lurked on a couple of his streams. Really enjoyed it. That was so much fun to get to learn a little more about him and how he plays the game. Yeah, there you go. That is true. Look at it. Wow. Wait a minute. Is this Amber's evil twin? We have Amber and we have a succubus Amber. I'm worried now. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. I love, and like the funny thing is, you could just like, it would have been a great game if it was just like the story part of it. But then you add in that it has one of the best tactical combat modules included with it. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm the same, Clay Dog. Like, well, no, I finished Baldur's Gate once. I actually streamed it like one night. I spent like 5 hours finishing the dang game on stream, and it was very. I was so happy. Oh, all right, that is your alt account. I was like, wait a minute, Amber's evil twin is here. Well, you know, I consider alts to be an evil, and I don't recognize them. So we yeah, you know, and that's how you end up with like 87 healing potions on the last mission of the game when you just haven't used any of them. I won once as a, oh, it was so cheesy. I had I played a monk, and at the highest level, a monk is already pretty broken, but then you add in, I used the tadpoles, and all of a sudden I was a monk that could fly. So I was just a flying death dealing machine. Yeah, no, I don't want 25. It knows what it did. But Baldur's Gate is so good. AW, you gotta get it, man. You gotta get it. Oh god, I was so broken because I could like, so every attack that I made stunned whoever I attacked. And so I'd fly over here, stun somebody, fly over here, stun. No magic user stood a chance against me. It was fantastic. Baldur's Gate 3, best game ever made. And like every aspect of it, the writing, the voice acting, the tactical combat, the verisimilitude to D&D, the variability of the story, how, you know, doing one thing differently changes a whole bit of the end. It's great. Oh, it's so good. I love Baldur's Gate 3. Bard Warlock multi. Wow. I'm Amber, I'm my second playthrough. I'm actually playing as Will. And that's a really interesting other thing, is that you can play the entire game as one of the companions, and the story recognizes that and changes. So like when I went to Baldur's Gate, people recognized me and stuff. It was really neat how it changed the whole game playing that way. And that's to say nothing of the fact that I don't think I have it in me to play the Dark Urge. The Dark Urge, can I be a mage? Oh, A-dub. Oh, that's like, that's the equivalent of me coming into your stream and asking if I can draft an Astro. You can be 5 different kinds of mage. It's the best. But yeah, it's really interesting to play as the companion. And then the Dark Urge is fascinating because you are like a force of ultimate evil, and you're trying to resist to do evil things. And throughout the game, you have to like try and keep yourself from doing awful things. which is a really I'm not sure I could do it because some of the things are truly awful. You just start slaughtering people, but it's so good. Like the writing in that game is just amazing. Like after I won it the first time, I never do this. I started watching YouTube videos of the various different endings, and I am just oof. I'm just blown away. All right, we have one more draft to do. It is a little, although the terrible things are a little more visceral because they're nowhere near as cute. Let's jump in a couple tournaments here. Oh, so you played Dark Urge Amber. Okay. That's where the succubus came in. So the reason that I'm playing Will in my second playthrough, and this is a minor spoiler, just to warn you, I may have accidentally, by a choice I made in the game, killed Will dead. And so I owed it to Will based on my poor treatment of him in the first game. I owed it to him to play as him in the second game because I thought I was doing a good thing, but it turned out the good thing I thought I was doing killed him. Oh, you can be super evil. You can be super evil. Like you can. Let me put it to you this way, Ada. In the very first mission, you can decide to side with the bad guys. You can decide to be on the side of evil. And then all throughout the game, you go into all these like places and they're just like, oh, you're one of us. Okay, great. No problem. And then at the end, you can decide I'm actually the new evil, like I'm taking over, or you can renounce your evil ways. There's just as Succubus Amber said, there are so many different endings based on things you can do in that game. It is amazing. I don't mind the Franken team, other than Brent Main having a lot of work to do. All right, let's do our bagels and schmear draft, and then we will. Yeah, those are rookie numbers. That's you gotta get those up. We'll do our bagels and schmear, then we'll head over to franchise. Really enjoyed that conversation. That was kind of fun. I'm really interested in like the amount of time that he spends, because his YouTube videos look great. And actually, Lap is the same way. Lap spends a lot of time on his YouTube videos. And it's really interesting to me to see like the work that people are putting into those. Yeah, no, actually, A-Dub, I already have a shtick for you coming on. I want you to come on after talk, and we are going to refresh all of my tournament teams, because all of my tournament teams are terminally under cared for. And so I want you to come on and take a look at the mess that I have of tournament teams. Well, or some, I'm just trying to get as much work out of you as possible. We can pick levels that you like, but one of the things that I want to do is I want to show people how you approach tournament stuff, and I want to talk about like various tournaments, the pluses and minuses of various tournaments. So that was what I was thinking about having you on for. Not that I've planned everything out to an evil genius extent. All right, bagels and schmear time. I am shocked. I am still in the top 10 in the bagels and schmear. It has been a rough June, like a really. As a matter of fact, let's cancel out of this real quick, and let's go to the competitive website. Because okay, boom. Now we're gonna go back to StreamYard. my setup on Tuesdays is different than my setup normally, so I'm always a little flummoxed. All right, so now we're going to open up the competitive site here. There we go. So this is the standings for the various tournaments and things. So here's the first half bagels and schmear, and my Starfleet red shirts somehow are still number 10, which is shocking because if we look at my June, well, all right, I guess June's better than I thought. I'm 22nd. Huh. I guess June is not as bad as I thought. I felt like June has been awful, but I guess not. Yeah, let's see. Where is Amber here? Amber is 31. So 41 is not a terrible. You're beating EVC, and that's all that matters. Just beat EVC. That's all that matters. But yeah, somehow I am top 10 in the bagels, and then for Laps Summer Classic, I think I'm down here somewhere. I think I'm like 20 something or something. I'm 49. Ouch. Yeah, I have definitely struggled after a really good start. I've definitely struggled in the 5 and 6L. Hey, Lone Star, welcome in. You missed a fun conversation with TeeClev. It was very enjoyable. This is my contractually obligated. Lone Star should be an affiliate. He is the hardest working man in OOTP. Always. All right, let's do our bagels and schmear, and then we will head over to my buddy Franchise Time Machine. It's not on sale? Wow. I think it goes on sale every once in a while. But, I mean, well worth it. When's your birthday, A-Dub? Send me your Steam ID. I'm sending you a birthday present. DM me. Because everyone should play Baldur's Gate 3. All right, it's an early birthday present. Yeah, Hasbro is doing everything they can to. So the bagels and schmear, 1935. Home runs are very much a thing. But again, gap power. And so it's righty power and gap power is what we're looking for here. Oh, generally, well, I mean, that's an interesting question. I think everything is better on PC, but that might just be me. Oof, I don't like this round. I really don't like taking a perfect catcher, but I think Heartnet might be the move here. Yeah, I think Heartnet is the... You know what? I'm just going to take Ripken. I'd rather have a shortstop. Although I do know many people who have played it on console and enjoyed it. But yeah, I found it easier on PC, but I'm always more comfortable, especially playing big games like that. But it plays pretty well, like all things considered. Marte or the Candyman? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. That's one that I might wait to be on sale, honestly. All right, we get 2 of these. Meredith. Yeah, the mods are a big reason to play it on PC. That's a great point, Amber. And Baldur's Gate has so many mods, ridiculous mods, and some of them don't actually involve more sexy clothing for the various companions, although most of them do. I've played with I've used some of the mods. The one that I think is interesting, although everybody I've seen use it, it kind of breaks their game, is the one where you can have all of the companions at once. Yeah, there's a whole weird I mean, you can do there's a romance aspect to the game, and there are there are mods that will let you romance more than one person. There are mods that will let you like change their clothing in ways. It's a whole thing. Oh yeah, that's actually those are the best mods. The one that add cool old D&D classes. Yeah, that's fun. So if I took Jay Bell, I could play Ripken at third, but I mean, well, actually that's pretty good defense-wise. Let's try it. What the heck? So because 1935, I probably only want 10 pitchers. Not a problem right now because I only have one, but we're definitely taking Hilton Smith. I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you were around when I announced it, Amber, but I'm actually playing D&D on Twitch. My best friend from the 80s is running Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, so I get to pull out my player's handbook and play old school. So every Friday night, I'm playing D&D on Twitch. I feel like one of the cool kids. I think we're gonna take Brown over Force. It's well, I mean, old school D&D is very different. There's a it is a much better game in many ways. Amber, your dad loves Richie Ashburn. I hate Richie Ashburn. He knows what he did. There's a reason we have a Bean Richie Ashburn. Consuerga can actually start with a 60 stamina. I don't love the PBABIP. When I was playing my 1960s Giants run, Richie Ashburn, every time he was up, every single frickin' time he was up, he would, even if I played the infield in, he would just dink the ball in front of my outfielders, and it drove me slowly mad. I think I might have rage quit at one point. But so that then I just started hitting him every time he came up because I was so sick of it. I'm like, he's gonna get on base anyway. So we're beaning Richie Ashburn. Kind of like Archie Vaughn here. Sejian righty power is definitely a thing in this tourney. I think we're going to take a Sejian. And I mean, Meneses is also big righty power. And I don't have a first baseman yet, so let's do that. Although, are there one of these pitchers that I really want? No, not really. Ah, Sweet Lou. Yeah, Sweet Lou. Oh, wait, Chris Bryant is going to be my first. Oh, he can't play first. Well, this is problematic. No DH in this tournament. All right, we're not taking. Maybe I am taking Sweet Lou. Let's take Sweet Lou. That's going to be some good defense here. I'm a fan. Rasmussen, not bad for this tourney. Original jerk, Richie Ashburn. Yeah, original D&D, there's a lot of like, oh, you have 4 hit points and you have 1 spell. Enjoy. I mean, this guy, like, I would want in the 5L, maybe not in the bagels, although it's not terrible. And I like that, gap power and speed is always a thing I like. I mainly now, when I mainly run Call of Cthulhu, which is a horror game. That is my game of choice. But I haven't run in a while. Although I will be back in the most uncomfortable chair in gaming. On a Monday coming up soon, I will be running my favorite module of all time, which is actually a Warhammer module. It's called Rough Night at the Three Feathers, and it's fantastic. The entire module is just a timeline of 8 interweaving stories and how they, at 10 o'clock, here's what happens in the stories. And it's just how the players mess it all up. It's so good. I love that module. So much fun. Speaking of which, I need to make the characters for that. I'll be running that on, I'll be back in Quests and Chaos for I don't remember the date of it. I'll have to check that. We've got Nick, Ren, Thomas, and somebody else. Oh, no. I don't remember that. Another wonderful player. Joe Unknown. Rachel just made an OOTP joke. Oh, no. Pretty soon she's going to be drafting iron tournaments. She's going to be an iron sicko a silver sicko before we know it. Now, ironically, I think Satchel Paige is better suited for this tournament, but the numbers actually say he's not as good in this tournament. Franchise says you're going to win the PTCS before I do. Rachel is firmly of the opinion that the only way to win is not to play. I don't like my second choice here. I guess it's Yokely Dokely. But I don't love it. I've got 2 catchers. All right. I've got everything I need. Yeah, that is a long drive for one game. And I kind of look, I'm certainly in the minority on this, but I don't love playing D&D online. Because part of, I don't mind running online as much. In fact, I think running online is actually easier. But playing, so much of the game is the back and forth and the repartee and that sort of thing. And that kind of gets, I have way too many pictures. I have 12 pictures. What the hell am I doing? That gets in a little bit, that's harder online just because people talking over each other, that sort of thing. And also people being overly deferent because they don't want to talk over people, which is wonderful and respectful, but it also kind of can lead to what we used to call in the hacky sack world a gravity check, where like everything stops and you're all just looking around like, what just happened? Yeah, I just made a hacky sack reference. I heard that. I heard your snark. I went to a liberal arts college in the 90s. You want me to pull out my devil sticks? Listen to some spin doctors? You see what I have to put up with? Or really, more likely, you see what she has to put up with? Oh man, I loved hacky sack back in the day. Look, if you are not terribly athletically gifted, go to a small liberal arts college and just enjoy sports. You immediately become a jock. Like I was the jockiest person in my school because I didn't wear black all the time and I liked sports. And so I was like, everyone's like, oh, he's a jock. I was like, yeah, I am. Oh, it was great. If we'd had lockers, I would have been stuffing some drama major in the. No, I was a theater major. So, wait, there's a hacky sack. What? There's a hacky sack shortage? So all the kids are buying hacky sacks, and now there's
like a huge shortage because now it's like had a resurgence, but there just isn't, nobody's making them. So
you know what doesn't have this problem? Devil sticks. Do you remember devil sticks?
Vaguely. I remember hacky sacks better.
Devil sticks were this. Oh, hi, buddy. You want to come be on camera? Oh, the answer is no. Here's Lucifer.
Oh, cat content.
Yeah. Oh, little widge. Little widge. Boop. But yeah, me and my, I played basketball every day. We played softball on the weekends. So everyone's like, and Frisbee, man. I cut so many classes to play Frisbee. Spring in Vermont. Oh, it was beautiful. No, I never had one of those hoodies. And all the shorts I wore in college were way too short. And God, I would never wear a hemp necklace. And I didn't wear sandals. Look, we were not a well-off family, and I basically would go to Vermont every year, every semester with one suitcase. So I didn't have a lot of clothes in general. I was wearing a lot of the same stuff over and over. But yeah, the shorts, it was, I was definitely not in the baggy clothes, run of the, when I first went to my school, I did not have a winter jacket. I didn't have like a ski jacket. So I was like wearing 3 sweatshirts. And the worst part about the East Coast, and there are so many bad parts, but my college, Rachel, franchise needs some round ball rock. Is the heat, like they had those old steam heaters that like glung 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 glung. But so it is freezing cold outside, and then you come inside and you're immediately in a sauna. It was the worst. I hated it. Franchise, if you want to start up, I don't know, maybe you're already running. I've been blabbering about nothing for far too long here. Finding out that Rachel knows more. Oh, franchise is already up. All right, we are going to raid over to Franchise Time Machine, who is, awesome. Franchise is doing a stream tonight that is honoring Venezuela. If you didn't know, Venezuela had a terrible earthquake that has killed like 1,000 people. And there's still, the death count is rising over and over. And so franchise is going to make a team of great Venezuelan players to honor Venezuela. I love this. I am on board. This is a cool idea. So we are going to raid over to franchise. Thanks so much for hanging out. We will be back tomorrow with After Dark, and then we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. But yes, thinking of Venezuela for sure, and it's awesome that franchise is going to honor them in a small way. I might try and find a Venezuelan aid link to put in his chat. We'll see, but I hope I see you over there right now. Goodbye, internet friends.